Well, hello again. Welcome to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode
112.
I'm AJ.
I'm Steve.
Steve, who in the hell are we brought to you after 6 weeks?
The new Mustang, which now looks more like a Camaro.
I was going to say, it kind of looks like somebody crashed a last-gen Mustang into a Camaro. But the Camaro's going to be discontinued, right?
Again.
It'll be back as an EV in 2031, I promise, or 2030, I promise.
Yeah, it was about a 9-year gap last go round.
Yeah, it kind of suffered from
yeah.
but they also suffered from the 370Z-ism where they didn't update it for so long. And
yeah.
Now, how many Camaros do you see versus how many Mustangs do you see?
Still about a 4-to-1 ratio.
Uh-huh. Well, what are we drinking today?
We've got a trio of Appalachian Mountain Brews and the Penelope.
Yes. It's not how you pronounce that, but this is why
you don't drink Penelope out of an envelope?
English is stupid.
Bring me an envelope. I need to push it.
English is very stupid. So let's pour this. It's a barrel strength pour. It's 115.8 proof, which means the alcohol is 57.9, batch number 10. This was really good. The guy didn't know anything about it, and so I was like, you know what? It's a barrel strength. And I got to the point, man, where I have to have something that's like 95 or over because I want to taste what the barrel, like, I don't want to taste the watered down version, you know what I mean? So, because they proof down a lot of that shit. So anytime you see like a barrel strength or barrel proof, this is how it came out of the
So it's undiluted?
Yeah, and fuck it. What are you going to go with first?
Go with the Orange Candle Low Hazy IPA.
Sure.
All right, you too?
Yeah, might as well.
Right,
so we can experience it together.
Here you go.
Forever and ever we try. The other Rick roll. Together forever. The other way.
Yeah, it's like you're talking about the stronger alcohol bourbons, and this is weighing in at a paltry 4.1%.
Well, I might have to go pick up my fenders tonight anyway.
Hey,
So story for air. You know the drill. 3, 2, 1. One day we're gonna get it together. Actually, I peeked it out this time.
And see what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Good pool beer.
Yep.
After drinking so many high graph stuff, that's just like
it doesn't taste like anything.
No, it really does not. It doesn't even taste like an IPA.
After a very boozy yesterday, like I had a few low grabs upon getting back home, and then grilled 2.8 pounds of Denver, which was delicious if quite chewy.
Denver steak's a bit
it was
dog toy.
the more meaty side of chuck roast.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
it was $20 for almost 3 pounds.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to stir fry it too, like I don't mind a little chew in my. Every cut of meat has its purpose. Like,
yeah.
So what you need to do is get a meat grinder and then make burgers out of Denver steak. I bet if you grind it and tenderize, probably fine. Says a man who knows nothing about that. Penelope.
Yes. Penelope.
Sweet Penelope. That is all cherry and wood, and that's really good. You did good, Penelope. Well, Steve, there's a lot of shit that's changed in my life. What have you changed in the last 6 weeks?
Let's see. Since we last met, I gained one, if not two, nieces.
Yes, you did. Especially since last podcast, for sure. Needed more air.
Yeah.
Got to get pumped. So, nieces are... You're finally an Uncle Steve.
Yeah, now official.
Welcome to the club. Y'all got some catching up to do, but whole family knows how to pop out babies.
Yeah.
That's good. What were the names?
We got Willa Jane.
That's cute.
And Olivia Parker.
I like those. Almost close to Widow Jane, and that's a damn good bourbon, too. Willow Jane. That's pretty. That's really pretty. I like that. And it's...
We saw her yesterday.
George Carlin had the bit about, he goes, the nursing home in 80 years is going to be filled with Trixies and Britneys and and really weird. It's like, can't imagine calling a 90-year-old woman like McKaylee. Like,
yeah.
Awful.
It'd be a lot of Amandas and Katies, Heathers.
Mm-hmm. Hell, and Emily's not
Too terribly common.
No,
And apparently Kaylin is becoming more popular.
stuff with a YN. It seems like has become a little bit more.
That said, I'm going to change my official name to Stephen with a YN.
You should. Nobody else is.
It'd be Stephen. Thank you.
Or just, you make sure you get the Y at the end and not be Stiven. Ugh. Stiven. Somebody threw a beer bottle at my fucking car. Touched up the paint. Fender's gonna get replaced. And PDR guy's coming out, and I need to get into the PDR business evidently because that small dent's gonna be $250 fucking dollars.
This is the most un-Jeep like response ever.
Normally it'd be like, oh fuck it. But there's not one other dent on the car, so I'm like, if it already had some beat ups on it, I'd be a little less inclined to do that. But you know me, I got to get it fixed. And another funny story. So that cab over there, the little mini recto cab, I had the big 212 recto cab. I'm like, I don't want to carry this son of a bitch around, so I got the 112 to practice with. Well, it sounded better than the 212, so I sold the 212, and I got that one. That head doesn't fit on there that great, and it was a little wobbly. So now I have two 112s, so one to practice with and then two to gig with. And I can run it in stereo where I can have one on each side of the drummer. And so if we're playing smaller venues that we're not miking the guitar amp to, I can run one on each side of the stage. So like somebody sitting on that side wouldn't just hear bass all night because that would be kind of weird. So, and I got my classic Boogie logo on the corner.
Nice.
Replacing that one, the old school one, which I thought came on it. It was in the middle. But I found out all the Mark IVs had Boogie on it, so I had to have Boogie back on it because I'm a man of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Uniformity?
Yeah. Although, yeah, now, whatever.
Well, now I have a Boogie Mesa instead of a Mesa Boogie.
Yeah.
We might as well do is tack that on the Jeep. So you have the one of a kind Mesa Boogie Jeep.
Put it over the dent.
Then you have to get another emblem to put it on the other side, and that's just one big dumb rabbit hole.
Well, I got the Mesa Boogie Slash because the old school 212 had that old school logo, and I wanted them to match. But then when I found out that just had Boogie on it, I'm like, well, fuck it. When I ordered those, it just says Mesa Engineering. That's what it's going to say because that's how it came. I like stock stuff is what I'm saying. But I did to put new tubes in that for a new show because you don't want to play your first full band show in 10 years and have an amp give out on you. So just like, do you have any experience with TV tubes? Like old?
I still have a 27-inch Panasonic at home.
So,
It's a monster.
So like vacuum tubes like that.
Uh-huh.
And it has
It's
those.
like the whole shtick about tube amps being the warmer sound.
I don't know if I would call it warmer, but it's definitely... There's a sound you get from it and the feel that you get playing it that you can't really duplicate digitally yet. It will come. And now it's so close that if I were a national recording artist, you could take, like, I would use that amp at home and in the studio, and then I would just take an electronic profiler on the road with me because the audience doesn't give a fuck. If it sounds 95% as close, which it does now, audience doesn't care, man. And it's easier to dial in night to night with a digital profiler because every room sounds different. Well,
yeah.
If you're plugging into that profiler going straight to the house, you're just eliminating all the other shit that comes wrong with that. So, hey, that's another fun story of mine. Just never a dull moment. Oh, we're ordering Emily a 2023 HRV. We ordered it and put the money down. We got tired of putting money into the one we just got her, which is becoming
sweet irony. It's like, it has a warranty, but nothing's gone badly enough for the warranty to take effect.
Yeah.
Is that transferable, or is that just the next Muppets $1,500 they don't have?
We're going to make it sweeten the deal with that a little bit. I mean, it helps. It helps sell the car if it already comes with a warranty with it. So
yeah, check if that's transferable.
Yeah. So it had 3 coolant leaks. It had a coolant leak, and we took it in. And he's like, yep, you were right. It was coming from under the intake manifold, which the thermostat housing was cracked. So you need one of those. The water pump is needed replacing, and then one of the heater hoses. So you had coolant leak, but it was from 3 places. I was like, cool. $1,000 later, that's fixed. But you can't trade in a car leaking coolant and expect to get any good kind of trade in.
Yeah.
and it has brand new Michelin tires on it. So if we get 10
Did
for
you have any
it,
previous service records on it?
a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot of service records. So it will be a good car, but like we have so much chaos in our lives that I don't need one more
a 12-year-old car being a 12-year-old car. Never mind, otherwise it's a solid 12-year-old car.
Yep.
But nope, see also My Time with the Vibe. Lovely car, however, it needed some help here and there.
And the new HRV is on the Civic platform, whereas the old one was on the Fit, but the Fit's discoed.
Yeah.
So now it's on the Civic. So it gets the Civic interior at the really nice, like the honeycomb
Yeah.
going across. So it gets that. Has the stuck-on screen look, but, I mean, I don't love that.
iPad on a dash, but
Yeah,
everything's gone that way.
CVT, a little bit more power, but still pretty painfully fucking slow.
I finally saw one in person. It does look better than the Ford Escape that it's a copy of, but I'm still not crazy about that front end.
I like the front end. I don't like the front end as much as her last one.
Yeah.
But I like the thing I didn't like about the old HRV was the door handle not being.
Yeah.
If it has
the
four
weird
doors,
hidden thing.
I either have no door handles on any door, or
I
uniformity.
have it somewhat consistent.
Yeah.
Which a lot of cars nowadays look strange that the driver, or like the front doors, the handles are lower than the back doors since they're higher up on the fender.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
So what was? Oh yeah, 0 to 60 is like 9.5 seconds. It's painfully slow. However, for what she uses it for,
like I keep telling you, she doesn't need to charge anything.
but the interior's nicer. You lose the magic seat. No more magic seat in the new ones because that was on the Fit platform anyway.
Yeah.
But the thing about having a non-turbo NA engine, it's a lot less to go wrong.
Uh-huh.
I think we're going to lease it, actually, instead of buy it because it's the first year of the redesign, and we'll drive it for 3 years. If it has no niggles and weird shit, we'll buy it out because it's cheaper to lease anyway. So.
That's what Kaylin did with her CRV, and after her sister's van got crashed, she replaced that with a brand new Odyssey that only took a month to get in. She's kind of got the itch to replace a fully functional 16 CRV with 65K on the clock.
I wouldn't.
It's like, you owe $8,000 on it.
Yeah.
If like I showed her the math, like if you do this, at the least you're gonna owe double what you do.
Our new HRV is going to be $31,000. That's out the door. Everything. That's dealer, tag, title, doc fee, everything.
Which in turn makes it what, $1,000 over what insurance paid on the crashed one.
Yeah. So
It's kind of the best of a bad thing looking at it that way.
yeah, and it has more gadgets. It has like cross crash sensors on the front bumpers. So if you try to pull out and it sees something coming, it'll stop you, which is good. So but that also includes like a $2,000 dealer package they put on all cars now that you can't order without. So like they'll tint the windows and put all weather mat. I mean, it's a nice package to have, but just like you just don't get the option because somebody else will buy that fucking thing. So it hasn't even been built yet. But they said from build date, they get the build date, and then once the build date happens, the car is at the dealership ready to buy in 5 days because it's not built by hand.
It's
not
built by robots in Ohio.
It's Nordic Frost Pearl is the name of the color. It's greenish, dark turquoise.
Ooh, nice.
Check it out. Your tablet probably has better resolution than this camera. Computer? Toy boat.
Sure.
Nordic Frost Pearl is what it's called. Front wheel drive. We don't need her to have all wheel drive. Once again, one less thing to worry about.
Yep.
It'll probably be the last gasoline powered car that we get for her, actually, because it'll probably the next one will either be hybrid or full EV. And we got her the Sport with the black wheels because black wheels. Which is funny, the EXL models have 17-inch wheels, but the Sport has 18s. Isn't that backwards?
Usually Sport's the lower spec, but
it goes LX, Sport, EXL is now the trim levels with that and the CRV.
I've heard that the CRV is doing away with the LX.
Yeah, the base model will be going away, and the new one looks handsome. Have you seen the new CRVs? Like, they're really a lot more muscular.
It's kind of like
that
tealish,
but with black wheels.
It's a pretty color.
I like that color. She actually said it was either down to that, white or black. Not silver, because we are 0 for 3. Well, 2 totals,
or like
but 1
silvers and grays. Yeah,
yeah, we're done with that shit, man. She's like, is it kind of gray? I was like, nope, it is fucking green. It is.
It is greener than one she has already.
It's a darker shade, yeah, and I like that color too. But
yeah,
that's going to be a good car for somebody. But that's somebody who needs to like take it and spend like $3 or $4 grand and just like make everything completely right, and then it'll run forever. But I don't have time to do that shit, dude. We'll just get her something new. And if that crashes, then it's like you said, bicycle and bubble wrap.
Yeah,
yep. Have fun, dear. But yeah, cars now the cheapest car Honda makes is the HR-V, and we got the mid package, and it was $30,000 fucking dollars. So good luck, everybody else.
Yeah.
You know how much I'd have to pay to replace my Jeep with a brand new one and build it the way I have mine built?
50.
Close to fucking $50,000. It'd be 40. But mine's a sport though. I mean, the Rubicons have the upgraded transfer case and everything for off-roady shit, which I don't have. But to build a Willis Sport like I got now, which mine's not a Willis, but it has all the Willis shit on it. It's just a graphics package. It'll be like 48 grand.
You want graphics? I got a few rolls of electrical tape for you.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's the same. You can get the Turbo 4, but if I were to upgrade to the JL, if I would get the JL,
yeah,
it's the same fucking V6 with the same transmission.
Well, is the Turbo 4 auto only?
I think it is, and you can only get the stick with the V6. And unfortunately, you can't get the stick with the 392.
Yeah, that would be
sick. Would be hilarious. Matt Farah drove it. He said, "This is unbelievably stupid, but also unbelievably fun."
Yeah,
it's like you take off, and you could just feel the whole thing just kind of like. The body, because it's body on frame.
All the chassis flex.
Yeah, it's body on frame. So the body is doing something different than the chassis.
Yeah.
The chassis is pretty sturdy, but that's funny. Shit. Any other new stuff before we get to the news stuff?
Well, per the house hunt, we have resigned to re-sign the lease, and rent's going from $1,300 to $1,400 with that for the first additional year. And should we be there an additional year, it goes to $1,500. A new lease there would start about $2,000. So, something about the devil we know.
It's quaint. It's quirky. I like it. More importantly, if something fucks up in it, you don't have to pay for it.
Yep.
so you can put up with. You'd be surprised what you could put up with.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the upstairs bathroom could use a little bit of assistance. The shower isn't functioning, and the sink, the little stopper.
Yeah,
stopped working.
That can be fixed easily. But
yeah,
but once again, you're renting it,
right?
You don't have to fucking touch it.
And we've taken good enough care of this place that they've been willing to accept Kalen badgering them to get cheaper lease renewals.
Yeah,
else like this would have, could have easily been like $1,450,
right? And
then $1,600.
You've been good tenants, so and it's also probably for paperwork's sake on their end. It's probably just cheaper to have you guys there because I mean you've never been late on anything. So
yeah,
you pay on time, and you're just and I'm sure they have a lot of rental. It's not just like one person; it's like a rental company.
It's one of the biggest companies in the country. Like they're part of the problem of investment buyers for properties,
right?
Just turning every other house into a rental. Yeah.
Yep. They did.
We can't yet uninvite ourselves from invitation homes.
Well, what a housewarming present the Laytons are getting with Hurricane Ida. Is it Ida?
Ian.
That's
and there had been a Colin earlier that was a tropical storm hitting DC back in June or July.
Yeah,
it's like, wait, my cousins have their own namesake hurricanes this year. The next one line's Julia, not Janie.
That would be
amazing.
Yeah. So we were talked about that, and he said, well, hurricanes don't usually hit direct on the Tampa area. It's heading right to Tampa area. I hope his house is going to be okay because it doesn't look like it's going to deviate any. It looks like it's just going to hit straight because he's in Sarasota area.
South of Tampa.
Which is right south of Tampa, like 40 minutes.
I kept thinking he was going to Tampa, not Sarasota.
Mm-hmm. He's from Bradenton, so it goes like Tampa, Bradenton, Sarasota.
Okay.
But Sarasota is way closer to Tampa than it is to like Fort Myers. I think it's still technically in like the extended Tampa metro area, just like you'd say like Statesville and like Mooresville are kind of in the greater Charlotte area.
Yeah.
So it's still.
Then again, so is Clover. Consider that, and like it's an hour from here. It's like if you're in Charlotte proper, it's not as far, which is where Brian and Katie live, and it appears that's where Gray's next place is going to be.
Oh, really?
Somewhere that, or like Fort Rock Hill Mill, like somewhere under the border, maybe on the far side of Lake Wiley.
Is he working from home? Because driving to...
Yeah, that's going to be brutal.
That would just...
Yeah, in his old Jeep, too.
God damn.
I remember when we first got that thing.
And that's the worst engine they ever put in any Wrangler, except the 4-cylinder. But still, it's not far.
A buddy of mine had a 4-cylinder Wrangler, like an older one years ago, and promptly replaced with a Silverado.
It wasn't it wasn't that the engine was underpowered for that car, because the Wranglers at that time were pretty light. It was just it was a shitty engine. Whereas like Gray's version, it was a shitty engine, and it was too slow for the car. The old minivan engine. A Pentastar's not like a superstar, but it has 80 more horsepower and gets better gas mileage.
Yeah.
And 60. Well, I mean, it was 205 horsepower and then 240 something torque, I think, in those. And mine has 285, 265, which with my modifications.
Which in your Jeep, that's all right. Which in a Charger, and someone's put fart pipes on it, is untenable.
Yeah, my exhaust actually sounds decent, but yeah, those don't sound very good.
Yeah, the muscle car boys in denial are frequent.
Yeah.
It's like, you're talking about it's like. What you see more of? Camaros, Mustangs, or Challengers? And it seems the Challengers and Chargers are often being driven real aggressively.
Yeah.
And it's real easy to tell when they don't have the proper engine in them.
It's very obvious.
A very screaming tone.
There was a guy on YouTube, it was one of the many fucking car guys. He had a 2000 Viper GTS. In that, like, cobalt blue color. You know which one I'm talking about? It didn't have stripes. It was just a regular GTS coupe and, like, a cobalt bluish gray color.
Okay.
With awful fucking chrome wheels. He said he's going to do something about eventually because chrome wheels are fucking stupid on anything after 1974. But he's like, so, I can't hear this car. We're going to put this really nice exhaust on it. So, he puts the exhaust on it, and they dyno before and after, and put the resonators on. They dyno with more horsepower and everything. He's like... I think this doesn't... He said, sounds like it should have came from the factory. I want it loud. They cut the resonators off. Holy shit, it sounded great. It sounded like 2 5-cylinder straight pipe engines welded together, which is kind of exactly what it is.
The angriest pair of Volvos.
Uh-huh. It was brutal and great. What's your dinner plans? Back to home?
Yeah.
I got you. I'll probably be picking up fenders today. Steve, you ready to do the do's? That's a different one. Is that the Scatman version of that? Skibbity-bidi-bop. Here's the news. Skibbity-boop news.
What an unfortunate nickname.
Did it mean that when he was out, though?
Get back on that.
Because, like, some words are... they take on a different meaning as they age or as different people hear them. Anyway, Wall Street Journal reports that 40 to 45,000 Ford F-Series trucks are in surplus due to lacking a blue oval badge.
I heard about chip shortage issues, but not
they
a badge.
They didn't have enough Ford emblems.
Well, go to any junkyard. Problem solved, bro.
So, Steve, say you order yourself your brand new... All right, so say you get your Corolla GR. All right, so you get that. It's perfect. You paid for it. You had it built, and they're like, Mr. Nix, we have your car, but we can't ship it to you because it doesn't have Toyota emblems on it yet.
Put sign badges on it. Problem solved.
Do you know what I would say to them? Give me my fucking car, and when you get the badges, ship me the badges. That's not the most important thing on the car. And besides, it's an F-Series truck. It's pretty obvious what it is, isn't it? They look...
Uh-huh. It's looked the same since 2004.
Yeah. You can tell the difference between a Ford Chevy and a Dodge truck. You just fucking can. Like, that's what's keeping you from shipping it.
Yeah, there are some electronics issues, which is why they've been stockpiling them around like somebody's racetrack for the last forever. But badges, apparently they need some sticking badges.
40 to 40. Do the Porsche GT3. Just put stickers on it. Lightweight, yo.
Yeah.
Emily and I saw a GT3 RS parked up front, curb parking right outside of Carolina Ale House. And Emily's like, those are nice. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of boy racer, but they are nice. She goes, was it like 80 grand? I'm like, no. She's like,
$250,000.
Yeah, it's $250,000. Quarter fucking mil. And it was in Steve Red.
Nice.
The 2024 Mustang.
You said guard's funny.
2024 Mustang has a gauge cluster mode that makes it look like an 80s Fox body.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah, it's like, all right, bring back the 85 mile an hour speedometer.
That's hilarious. A buddy of mine, Steven Snuggs, I haven't talked to him in fucking over 15 years. He had a Fox body GT with 4 10-inch subs. He bought the car like that, and he said he thought he would love it. And we were 16 years old when he got it, and he immediately took him. He's like, "This is fucking stupid. I can't carry anything in here, and B, it's so fucking loud, it hurts."
Was it a hatch or a notchback?
Hatch.
Okay.
Hatch GT. Heavy. Ground effects. Spoiler.
Yeah,
made a lot of noise. Didn't go a lot of places.
The go-to was the LX50 since it had less shit on it.
Super fucking fast. It was like the...
or in the case of Matt Farah's previous one was the State Highway Patrol model, which had power nothing.
And I think it had independent rear suspension. Or he put it in there.
Yeah, he had the license plate, the IRS, on that car.
Right. Better than the IBS.
I'm afraid mine's almost there.
Well, it's the LX50 was the Superleggera of the time.
Yeah.
That's just so funny that you buy the GT model that has that look, and then you get walked at a fucking stoplight by an LX50
because it has 50 fewer pounds of plastic on it.
Jesus Christ, you know. I did like the interiors of the Fox body though. Like 80s car seats, I really, really liked. I thought all of them looked good. The Starion had, Recaro made my old seats, which is hilarious. But,
I think they did the seats in my 89 GTI.
Good seats. All the 80s seats had
my dad referred to that car as sport seats for sport butts.
It's very, very true. Imagine getting in the Brian's Supra and driving from here to Sarasota in it.
Yeah.
That'd be less than ideal. See, the Z's getting kind of shit on because it's more of a, like the Supra kind of beats it at the track, but I'm like, I don't recall a Z car ever being built for, it was always a Grand Tourer. To me,
they roll the clock back to 1970. Yeah, it was like quick, yes, but to be a comfortable fast car,
they already had a track model. GTRs, the Skylines were the track models, and the Z's were the Tours.
And now those are ancienter.
Yeah, the Supra was Grand Tourer until now, till BMW got a hold of it. Like it was the big those 1,000 horsepower Supra. You ain't taking that motherfucker into canyons.
Yeah.
Once.
That's still a car pushing 4,000 pounds.
Yeah, man, it's
and
fucking
the one
heavy.
before it was heavy, and the one before it rusted away. So a Mark II, it's rusting away before it can stay heavy.
3000 GT was absolutely a Grand Tour with 4-wheel steering and active aero. That one weighed 38.
38, yep.
So,
come to think of it, the heaviest thing I ever drove was the 07 Tacoma.
What was the weight on that?
And I think that was like 3,500 or 3,600. And everything, the Camry would have been 3,150, and about everything else has been 3K or lower.
Gotcha.
So I've accidentally had Superleggera cars.
Mm-hmm. I Superleggera the Starion, and I really fucking regretted it. I was young and stupid. Happens. Which gets us to our next point.
It's like it got so sweaty that your clothes are getting stained red from the seats, right?
Yeah.
That would suck.
This brings us to our next point about cars having to be all things to all people. Porsche is now selling rooftop tents for select 911s.
I saw that. Yeah, because when you think camping, you think 911.
All cars don't have to be all things to all people. If I wanted, do you think I'd spend $5,000 to hypermile my Wrangler, or you think I would just get something that gets better gas mileage? It doesn't have to be all things. That's why every crossover looks the goddamn same. You can't have the perfect car. Like, they're all wind tunnel tested now for that anyway. So It's going to look like that. Although, kind of the perfect car would be kind of like a Subaru Outback XT, except with a different engine because boxer engines are not my favorite. Lifted wagon, ground clearance.
That said, I did finally get to drive a 2013 WRX hatchback.
How was it?
I like that a lot. That and the John Cooper Works Mini and a Fiesta ST all within the last month.
What was the best one?
Probably the Fiesta, but the WRX was the most comfortable.
Oh.
The John Cooper Works felt the dartiest. Like it was on par with the Veloster N for just feeling dangerously quick.
Well,
but also the
wheelbase.
Mini being so tiny with tramline, like every dent in the road, like it was bounce in the lane. It's like
Nice.
I couldn't drive this all the time.
We could play the game Cash Crush and what was the other one? It was on Smoking Tire. It was
It was basically
Keep Cash Crush.
it was basically FMK cars from the Denver podcast. What used to be Tim Clearcoat.
Yeah, I think it's Keep Cash Crush. So it's keep one. So I kind of expected the Mini would, like, just as far as seats wise, I thought that would be better than the Subaru. But every Subaru I've ridden in hasn't had the most comfortable seats I've ever been in. But I don't know. But no, this is fucking stupid. Stop selling shit like that.
I also drove a TDI Jetta wagon.
Huh. Dangerously slow?
On par with the Corolla.
Oh, well, okay. It could get out of
But
the way.
in spirited driving, could still squeeze 40 miles a gallon out of it, whereas all the other cars would do 30-ish.
Right. I've actually been looking at that new Jeep Recon, the new electric. It's not going to replace the Wrangler, but looks interesting to me. QE2 was driven in a hearse designed by herself. She designed the hearse that carried her.
The Benz?
Yep, she designed.
Or was it the Jaguar for the last mile, or there was some controversy about that?
It was big bubbly fucking thing.
Yeah,
so they
like
could see
the,
the casket, because who doesn't want to see a casket?
It's very Pope-mobile-ish. Oh, you saw the final score, right?
No.
USA 99, UK 96. Betty White versus Queen Elizabeth.
Fuck yes, that's nice. I like that. I didn't see that actually. That's great. I remember the facts on QE2 were fascinating. The one I posted about her first prime minister being born in 1875 and the last one being born in 1976. That's crazy, crazy. Why do we have a monarchy still anyway? I mean, it's a constitutional monarchy. They don't really have any real authority, but
the whole basis of the foundation of the U.S. was to get away from the monarchy. So my condolences to the royal family, and frankly, dear, I don't give a damn.
yeah, they're paying taxes to make people who were born into wealth keep all their wealth. The Queen and King can still declare war, but do you know how long that would last before Parliament got a hold of it? I've heard somebody on Reddit had posted a tweet from a British person. It's like, imagine being such a shithead like Boris Johnson that the Queen decided to die right after you were out as prime minister because she didn't want you speaking at her fucking eulogy. Steve, a car company did something they said they would never do. Surprise, surprise.
The Prosang?
The Purasang.
Ugh.
A four-door SUV with a front-mounted 6.5-liter, normally aspirated 715 horsepower V12 that revs to 8,300.
It's not the last hurrah the V12 needs, but it's the last hurrah the V12 is going to get.
You know, Ferrari, I thought you were better than that. But I was wrong. At least Lamborghini is owned by Audi, and so Audi can kind of do whatever they want
Yeah,
to.
so that's how and why the Audi has the Audi SQ8,
Which is-
doubles as the new Aztec.
Mm-hmm. And the new Urus, which they have a Performante version of, because the Country Club ain't going to brag itself, is it? But
Bull.
Hey, what does Purosang mean?
Pure blood, which is the least pure-blooded of these damn things.
It's it's really ugly too. Like, can we not? Can the exotic car maybe? Controversial styling works on two-door cars that are exotics. SUVs, not so much. Now, you know, speaking of the Aztec, you thought the Aztec was ugly at the time. Now,
Still do. Now
But
everything. Now everything's trying to look like
now
it.
everything looks like the
I'm
Aztec.
looking at you, Lexus RX.
I kind of still unironically want one, but then try to like motor swap it and make it cool.
Because the Buick Rendezvous wasn't weird enough.
That was really ugly. My late neighbor had a Rendezvous. Then he had a rendezvous with death because he didn't get vaccinated.
Whoops.
How about Toyota Matrix 1.8 liter swap Aztec?
That said, did you hear about the ultra low mileage one for sale?
I did, and unfortunately, it was the base model with hubcaps.
Base model, hubcaps, automatic, crank windows, 400 miles, and cars and bids. Last I saw was at $7,000 for that.
So the question is begged all the time when you see these ultra low mile cars. On Countach's, you find barn finds with 1,000 miles on it. I get it.
Somebody bought a basic-ass runabout and didn't drive it.
I don't drive.
I venture a guess that the owner, like whoever had initially bought the car, bought it, died, kids never gave a shit, so it's been sitting for the last 17 years.
Funny story about that. Our buddy Charles, well, my buddy from high school, and then your acquaintance.
My best customer.
His grandmother bought him, because he was born in 86, just like I was, I think March. And his grandmother bought him a car brand new to give to him when he turned. That car was an 87 CRX and kept it very low mileage. And then he didn't want it.
Meanwhile, he has an insatiable appetite for Integras, which would be funny had it been a first or second year Integra. Would he have accepted it?
I don't know.
Could this have been his gateway drug into those cars?
It very well
that
could
would have been amazing.
Mm-hmm. I still like the CRX. It's so fucking
A buddy
cool.
of mine that runs a restaurant in Southport had an 86 CRX and treated it very badly during our high school days.
Probably still ran, too, because it's a Honda. What would be a good swap in that?
And they replaced it with his mom's 94 Camry.
3.2-liter Type S V6 from the CL and TL of the day. Because that's still compact enough. It'd probably fit in that engine bay. Or just stick it in the back. There's no back seats anyway.
Yeah.
CRZ was a good idea, but you never see
it. It was unquick.
Very slow.
Yeah.
The guy who bought my TSX, his girlfriend had a CRZ. And a black with black wheels. A sharp-looking car.
There was a technician at my old job that he had a series of interesting cars that he had an SVT Contour.
Oh, nice.
The Gremlins got it. And then he got a Suzuki SX4, that really weird little all-wheel drive hatchback, and replaced that with a CRZ. And then sometime during my unhired period there, retired.
Unhired.
So never did get around to hearing his 2 cents about the everything. He was a neat guy.
Yeah. Parts of me, like my next car, I want to be like a quirky, weird car. But there's also something to be said about parts availability, and so
yeah,
I like the idea of a
like
K-van.
Yeah,
I really want a small
van. I actually
van.
saw one on 85 the other day, and it was dreadfully tiny looking.
I really, really want one for in-city driving, but the problem is Honda never made one. Well, Honda didn't make fuel-injected ones until later. They were all carbureted. So the only ones you can import now are carbureted. And, man, I'll be honest, dude, I do not want to work on carburetors again. Having Vietnam flashbacks of the old Dodge truck. So I think I'll just wait until the 25-year thing, and I'll just wait until I can get one. Because it'd be the perfect, like, in town. I could just keep the Jeep.
This motorcycle swap it. How hard could that be? Har, 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 har.
I would totally do away with the steering wheel and have handlebars. Guy driving a fucking Hayabusa swap van with handlebars. Hey, guys. It's better than the yoke idea.
Better Goldwing swap it.
Fuck yeah.
Give it a 6-cylinder.
Instead of the handlebars here, though, I'll get the 8-hanger handlebars in a van. That is so fucking stupid.
That's how my arms numb just thinking about it.
Well, my dad's handlebars on the Chopper Honda he built were instead of out, they were down. It is so fucking hard to turn it. That thing's so dangerous. Like, you get pulled over just for danger.
It was a motorcycle yoke.
The yoke is a stupid fucking idea. That is just, hey, do you want a steering wheel? Sorry, you only get 60% of a steering wheel.
That's generous.
Fucking Elon Musk. Late Princess Diana's RS2 Cosworth we talked about that was going to auction, sold at auction. Steve, how much did it sell? It's not as... It's honestly, it's a lot, but it's not as much as I thought it was going to be.
An awful lot of candles in the wind for this one.
I like that version better than the Marilyn Monroe version.
$200K.
Oh, well, it's definitely more than that. It's less than $1 million though.
500.
$850. I thought it was going to be in the million just because some rich, fucking bloke would go for it. But that's a lot for it, even if it was. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting if unspectacular car at the time. That the closest thing here would have been an Escort GT, which looks a lot like said Fox Body Mustang. That I still am not crazy about the looks of a Fox Body Mustang because I would always call those the Skort Stang, since it looked pretty similar from 86 to 93.
Yeah, and if you have an itch for an 80s sports car, you got your choice of the goods, and then you got. I like a squared off body, but that was just
real boxy,
styled by a ruler.
I wound up getting that 89 GTI 22 years ago since I couldn't find a Civic Si hatchback. Else, that was
you might still have that.
That was top pick.
You might still have it,
or for more practical options, an 88 Camry wagon that we wound up not getting at the auction, which would have been $700 plus clutch, or Corolla wagon of the time. Instead, wound up with that. Got 2 years out of it, but I was concerned, if I crash this thing, it's gonna hurt.
Yep.
3 weeks later, found out that courtesy of its new owner.
Yep. But the Volvo was probably the safest car you've ever had,
and the first of which was the safest car ever crashed.
Safer than the Yoda?
For the time, else, 25 years of newer technology definitely paid off.
I was going to say, structurally, the Volvo is way safer, but practically with airbags.
Yeah, with 8 airbags instead of 1.
I'm currently, the Acura, wait a second. I was going to say I currently have the car with the most airbags because the Jeep has side curtain in the seats. So it's got the 2 front and the 2 in the seats. I can't remember what the TSX had. I know it had the dual fronts, and I don't remember if it had the side. It was 2008.
That would have been early in that being available, and that being
a
step above a comparable U.S. spec Accord.
I bet you they were in the TL. I bet you they were definitely in the TL, though. But the Starion had no airbags. Neither did the Dodge truck. And the Cherokee was the first year that dual front airbags were mandated, so it had to have it. I kind of want to know what happened to that fucking thing. I found the original window sticker for my Jeep.
The Wrangler or the Cherokee?
Wrangler.
Okay.
It was $31,500.
Wow.
That's pretty reasonable. If I could buy another one for $31,500 brand new, I might fucking do that.
How about never? Is never good for you?
Yeah, I could get a 2-door base with no doors or engine for $31,500 probably.
Yeah, I've found a doppelganger of my car, courtesy of the vendors, for $19,000 with 82,000 miles on it.
Good.
MSRP 5 years ago with 0 miles, it would have been $19,000.
Yep. Funny how that works out like that. Yeah. Well, we looked at a blue HRV and a black HRV, but the black was 2022, and the blue, that Aegean blue, like the color of the Pop-Tarts box, that really pretty blue, it was 21. It had curb rash on all 4 wheels and a spot missing of paint that much on the wheel, black wheel. Granted, I know you could touch that up, but whoever had this before couldn't drive it. No telling what else was fucking wrong with it. The black one was gorgeous.
Bet the alignment's in great shape.
No. And they were both certified pre-owned, too. So it came with a warranty.
Definitely a used car.
Yep. So the black one was pretty, but the black one was the same price as a brand new one out the door. And you can't lease a fucking used car.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
So, and the black one had some curb rash on one wheel. I'm like, do the people who drive these things just not know how to fucking drive? You know how many times I've curbed a wheel? Never. I've curbed a tire because I knew I could get away with it in my Jeeps, but because you can just, it's rubber. You can fix that just fine. I've never curbed a wheel. Have you?
A little bit.
But not like that.
Yeah, to do all 4, like, if anything, it'll be the passenger side, because that's a little tougher to see. Darn.
I hate to say who I think was probably the driver of those, but I think you know where I'm going with this. They made Nikki Glaser take out her joke at the roast about Caitlyn Jenner. Do you remember the joke?
No.
Oh my God, this is my favorite joke any female comedian's ever said. Like, Caitlyn Jenner's here, and she's so brave. She's doing so much for women's rights. Not so much for women drivers.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's previous moving violations.
This is the best. She said they were like, no, you tell that joke, she'll walk out, and you can't do that. And she's like, it's a fucking roast. Sorry, man, you signed up. If you rub the genie, or if you rub the lamp, you get the fucking genie. Like, you know what I mean?
Sorry, sir. Sorry, ma'am.
Smam? Myrrh? I don't know what Jesus got. Never mind. Acura is to revive the ZDX nameplate for their new EV SUV, to which I say, I hope they don't revive what? What do we hate about the ZDX?
The lack of...
The way it
roof,
looks.
yeah. The fact that I'm terribly sorry. The MDX has too much room. Here, try this.
See, also BMW.
Yeah, the
X6,
X4, X6,
ugh.
And then Mercedes aping that. Porsche's doing the same thing, but it's less awful.
But it's a Grand Coupe. It's no, sorry,
no.
Stop doing that. Yep, ZDX is a cool name. It's got Z and X in it, two of your least used letters. However, please don't make it look anything like that.
Ugh.
I have a feeling it's going to look something like that.
Did you ever play the computer and early CD game Mega Race?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't think
Did I ever tell you about this?
Mm-mm.
Or that was kind of the harbinger of modern car design? Just giant-ass sport ute, militant-looking things. Like the first one that really made me think of it was the FX35 Infinity.
That one at least looked good.
Yeah.
It sounded good too. The old Chewbacca. But whatever the ZDX and the X4 and 6 and the new Mercs, those just do not work. Because it looked like a regular SUV and then they chopped it up. At least the FX35, the whole thing was swoopy and cool. I like those.
And then the EX35 looks stupid. They shrunk it. It looks bad now.
Yeah. Is there a car that you and I disagree on? We agree on a lot of things, but like the visuals of a car. I'm trying to think of what I like and you don't, and vice versa.
Well, you were never crazy about the first gen FR86 BRZs.
Yeah, I could. It so much wasn't the style. It was just like the neck. It was like the next big. Like,
yeah.
No, it's still.
No, it's the next little thing.
It's the next little thing. And if you wanted a go kart,
the raindrop
with a good and a better engine, you'd get either S2K or a Miata.
Yeah.
And if you didn't want a convertible, get the fucking hardtop Miata.
The RF, that was a $7,000 premium.
Don't they? Well, no. When did they stop making because the NA Miatas had a hardtop option.
Oh yeah, they do have the hardtop convertibles as well. But my immediate go-to was the RFs that had the retractable Targa top.
I like those.
That's a $7,000 premium.
Yeah, it's not worth $7,000,
no.
But I like the way it looks. I guarantee it. The automatic transmission-equipped Nissan Zs are put on hold for risk of rollaway.
Haha.
So, moral of the story is, guys, get the stick.
That's the definition of irony right there. That with the manual,
it stays put.
The risk of rolling away in a manual, like, if you don't put it in gear, don't leave the e-brake up, then yes, but that's how these things operate anyway.
Yep. Did I tell you when I had my Maxima, I left it out of gear?
More of these?
Sure. I left it out of gear and with the e-brake off all day at work. And when I came back, I got in the car, I went, oh my God, it's been in neutral the whole time.
Oops.
Fortunately, that parking lot was obviously very fucking flat.
Better if you're next to a curb.
Yeah, really. Oh no, Dose Trace. He beat me to it this time.
That one's good.
That one's much better than the last. The last one was just like tonic water. Sorry, Emerson Hart. Tonic. Never mind. You gonna be in town for the trio show?
The 17th, I think it
14th,
could.
14th. It's October. 14th is a Friday. If not, no biggie. But
I think it could.
okay, it'll be fun. be fun to watch me blow everybody's eardrums out with my fucking amplifier.
Yeah.
Actually, it's an outdoor show, and we're going to be up on a stage area, and y'all will be far back anyway. So,
Oh, there it is.
I got sneak peek for set lists over there. There's a little bit of everything on there, buddy. So where are we at? Oh, while you're doing that, Stellantis has teased the Ram Revolution, an all-electric, full-size pickup truck that's guaranteed to weigh as much as your house, and probably cost as much too at this point. The Lightnings, if you could get one at MSRP, or a base model Lightning would probably still be 60, like 50. Who can afford this? Could you imagine your car payment being like one of our beer guys at work? They got his wife a new Caravan. They have 2 kids. They need the van. He says payment's $800 a month.
It's a Caravan?
Yeah.
Those have been out of production for 3 years now.
Pacifica?
That's more like it.
Okay. I think it's a Chrysler van.
The Pacifica took over the TNC in 16, but they kept building the Grand Caravan on the old platform until 19.
Okay.
And that was very rental heavy, and even a year ago I had one as a rental, which
Yes,
was
you did.
hilarious to have that to replace a Corolla temporarily.
It was comfortable though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It definitely napped better than the car did.
Right. Can you imagine an $800 car payment? That's
On a van, no. Like on a soup, that would make more sense, but
Yeah.
no, it's like, is this all the bells and whistles? Is this a hybrid model? Like,
Yeah.
how does any of this work?
my most has been $305. That was my highest car payment, and that was TSX. Only because I didn't put any. Well, I put money down. Put the Maxima down with a cracked windshield and a check engine light. But thanks, Toby, for the cracked windshield. I appreciate that. The 23 Ford Maverick allocations have been stopped already.
Darn, they made too popular a car. They have to stop it again.
My store manager ordered one. He still hasn't gotten anything. Yep. I like them too.
And like the tales were, here's how Ford made a $22,000 pickup. Well, prior to dealer markup and the sheer unavailability of this, new or used.
Yep. I would consider a truck if they made one that wasn't the size of this house. It's just stupid. Somebody has...
Yeah, because now the only remaining stick-shifted trucks are the Tacoma and the Gladiator, and those are sizable.
The Gladiator.
So therefore, I'm not above saying, yes, I was wrong, fearing that the Tacoma had kicked the bucket a while back.
They should.
But it's only in the top spec ones that have a stick option now.
Do you think they would step on the toes of Gladiator sales if they were to make a Comanche and make a 2-door truck version? I don't think they would. Because you still sell way more Gladiators.
Yeah.
People want the extra
Or I'm
space.
surprised that you couldn't just modify that rear passenger area to either expand the bed.
Really long bed.
Yeah, a really long bed one.
It's already got a long bed on it.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid.
It's disproportionate at least.
And it even weirder with the top off. It's really long.
Yep.
I can carry 2 king-size beds in line and not hang off. 2-door, a Comanche would get a strong consideration from me because I could get a bed cover and put music stuff in the back and just cover that bitch up and drive to gig. Anyway, on to beer news. Steve, got a bunch of news because it's been 6 weeks. A hotel in Shizuoka, Japan has offered guests 10 liters of free craft beer with every stay, including a built-in tap in the kitchen.
Nice.
So, what are you doing next week? Expensive way to get free beer.
Vacationing on the Atlantic, not the Pacific.
Right. Oh, yeah. How long are you going to be going?
I'll be gone all first week of October.
So, you're going Thursday?
It's 1st through 9th.
Okay. So,
Saturday to Sunday.
I thought you weren't leaving Thursday. You're leaving Saturday. Okay. And is the extended family coming with kiddos? Just you and Kay?
It's us.
Just you guys. No, and not her parents, just you guys.
Us.
Fuck yeah.
Her parents are currently encountering a COVID relapse, so they're not going anywhere.
I was supposed to go on vacation next week, or this. I was supposed to go on vacation this week, but yeah. Anyway, CO2 shortage continues to plague beer industry as well as the soda industry. I think that's just for CO2 at bars because I don't think there's plenty of bottles
Get
of
some
cans.
fucking Alka-Seltzer. What's the problem?
I was going to say, watch this. Different strokes, man. Tomato. Sorry, Brian. Florida Interstate 75 shuts down half a day due to a Coors Light truck crashing and spilling the silver bullet all over the highway. Depending on the part of town, that's not the worst silver bullets that could be spilling all over.
It's really going to mitigate the werewolf population in Central Florida.
I think Coors Light is a good... So you have your quintessential rednecks who just like Bud Light, who just like Miller Lite. I feel like if you offer them Coors, they'll drink it. But if you offer a Bud Light person a Miller Lite, they wouldn't drink it. That seem accurate?
Yeah.
Coors Light's a good...
It's all trash, but at least Coors had the hype behind it with Smoking the Bandit.
True, and Coors Light is pretty fucking good when it's super cold. Like, it's real refreshing. Although I like High Life.
When the cans have turned blue.
Yeah, something
Which
like
reminds me of David Cross's joke. I don't know about you. I just use my sense of touch to see if the can's cold.
I haven't indulged in much David Cross. Is it worth checking out?
I think you'll like him.
Okay, good.
It's going to be disturbing enough to be up your alley.
Good. Elysian Brewing collaborates with Chucky horror franchise to create a 5.3 ABV pumpkin ale. I don't know what it's called, but it's a Chucky beer.
Pumpkins play.
They missed the boat. They could have done Pumpkinhead. Like, do you remember that horror franchise?
Mm-hmm.
Could have done that. They could have opened a Leprechaun Man for St. Patty's Day.
But Chucky and Child's Play is still seeing some regular output and a TV series 35 years
I'm
going.
sorry, what?
30. If there,
TV?
I think there's a TV Chucky series.
Why? What could possibly be the plot line?
Murderous doll murders people. Next.
I don't know. I wouldn't tune into that. Have you seen any of the Child's Play movies?
No.
I have not either. But I have seen a Halloween. Have you seen a Halloween?
No.
You've
Horror's not my thing.
Oh, well, man, some of that old shit's campy, though. Have you seen any Friday the 13th movie?
Bits and pieces.
Okay. Because I watched them when I was a kid because my parents didn't know any better. And B, got to see titties in Friday the 13th. So, and it was better than the titties I saw in my dad's Easy Rider magazines that I found in the basement, which were just bad.
Speak when spoken to, saggy my boobs.
Ugh. Yeah, it's like, anybody here not had a C-section? That'd be nice. Like, God damn it.
What was it? Chucky, Stewie's joke about the exit wounds on the midday at the strip club.
Yep. Forbes study reveals Portland has been taken over as the best beer city in the United States, Steve. Who has overtaken them? And this is shocking. I have been there. I'm not sure if you have.
Chicago.
Yes.
No.
How did you know that?
That you've been to a place, and I figured that was likely...
Sand Dog.
Yeah, that would be my next guess. But that seemed too obvious. But Chicago, Goose Island, Three Floyds is next state away.
Yeah, they still had a little good representation.
Yeah.
You have not been to Chicago.
No.
But you've been to Portland.
No.
Where did you go with Bruce?
Atlanta?
No, I thought y'all went. No, she went.
She went right before then and had the donut box.
That's right. Okay, never mind. I thought you went with her. Oh well, fuck her. No.
That's Jake's job now.
Yikes. Well, better him than us. I would like to go to Portland, though, and I'd love to go, but you would have a blast in Chicago. Chicago's like going to a gigantic city, but it not being like super intimidating to go to, because I've never been to New York City, but everybody said it's pretty intimidating to go to. Chicago's just Midwestern hospitality in a giant fucking city.
Kaylin very much wants to return to NYC.
Like
to visit.
Couples
trip? The real winters are going to be quite daunting.
Let's do couples trip in NYC next year. I think instead of Ireland, because of baggage getting lost and everything, Emily's kind of worried that we're going to be losing a lot of our, because she has a lot of meds she has to take too. So if they lose our baggage and we're in
Yeah,
Ireland,
that's pretty major.
I think we're gonna go and do our 2020 trip we never got to do to Toronto, Canada. Canada.
Try again.
Canada. I think we're gonna try to do
that. Canada or Canada?
It's a 2-hour flight, 2-hour drive. Good Lord, it's only a 2-hour flight. So, I think we're gonna try to go back to Canada. And I think instead of doing 5 days, I think I'm gonna try to do 6. Just to, it kind of sucks because sometimes when you land, like the first and last day are travel days. So your 5-day trip's really a 3-day trip.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to try to do like a 6 or a 7 day since it's our 10-year anniversary. There's plenty of shit to do in Toronto too. So we're looking at that. We're going to stay on the continent. You know, Toby and Mariah are going to the Bahamas in a couple weeks for their first wedding anniversary.
Nice. I hope there's a Bahama remaining following these hurricanes going on right now.
There were 4 in the Atlantic last time I checked, although one was a post-tropical. I'm kind of a hurricane enthusiast at this point, which sounds...
Since when did you follow hockey?
I love you, Steve. By the way, there's Bitmojis for all the major teams, so if you type hurricane in, it's like me with a fucking hockey stick doing this or eating popcorn. What? That's great.
How about previous ones? Could it be a whaler as well?
I don't know.
Does your hockey stick double as a harpoon?
That would be amazing.
For shits and giggles, I did pick up a whaler's front license plate.
Nice.
So that's among my collection of weird shit in my garage. I've got 30 states now.
A harpoon.
It's how to keep it damp.
Fancy another
C.
That's really fucking good. And I think this bottle was only like $55, which is for a barrel strength something is pretty fucking tasty.
Well, that naked scotch, is like 35.
Yeah, man. Like people shit on like cheaper stuff, but you and I've introduced you to plenty of stuff, and you've brought plenty of cheaper stuff too. Sometimes the cheaper stuff just really fucking good.
Look, I'm a year into this current job, and the urge to remain a cheapskate is still very strong.
I'm getting a little on the other side of that now. So those 2 cabinets were $1,000.
But you didn't buy them new.
Yeah, I did this time.
Okay.
Only because I wanted to match, and Sweetwater ships them for free for 2 days. So, but my old cabinet, I sold my old cabinet for $600. Brand new, those cabinets are $1,100. I got it for $450. I sold it for $600, and that one's going to be sold for $350. So it pays for itself. So I like the idea of being able to run a stereo. And that thing is, people who think you need a 4x12 cabinet. Brian Baker and I were talking about it. If you see somebody roll in to a bar, a bar probably the size of saucer. If you see somebody roll into saucer with a 4x12 guitar cabinet and there's a full band, fucking leave. It's going to be so loud.
I take it you've never paid much attention to the Grateful Dead.
Not much, no.
Did you ever hear about their wall of sound?
I have. And
it is like nothing but the back of the stage is speakers.
Mm-hmm. Do you, to deviate from this for a minute, do you...
What, us deviate? Go on.
So, do you want a history of live sound?
Sure.
So Woodstock and all that shit, when Dead and Jimmy and Eagle, when everybody were playing.
Oh, I thought you were going to go back to ancient Greece with the why the amphitheaters are arranged that way.
Yeah, that's cool as fuck, though, and Red Rocks. The wall of speakers, you needed that, because at the time, PAs and everything, they didn't mic anything. So, like, when Zeppelin would play and you see, like, 12 Marshall 412s on each side, they were all loaded with speakers. Now, when you see a show, they're all fake. It's real cabinets. There's no speakers in it. You don't get sound from any of those speakers. What they do is they have, like, some of the bands will have them for looks, and then they'll have one 1x12 cabinet in an ISO booth, mic'd up, and ran to a PA, and the PA does all the pushing. That's how that works.
My new team lead used to work for Ticketmaster, so he'd know a thing or two about a thing or two at live shows. He said getting stuck in Toronto for a month was unpleasant because it was February.
That would be unpleasant.
He's an Arizona boy.
Yeah.
And lifelong Arizonan. Sorry, Derek.
Yeah. So
hope you're not listening.
if I turn my attenuator all the way up, or if I take it out of the loop and I have that on 2 and I play that right now, it'd be so fucking loud sitting in front of it, it would hurt your fucking face. So,
is this going to be my own Memorex ad?
Yeah, that. Yes. So, if you see that, now when you see the walls of cabinets, they don't have any speakers in them. It's all... Now, some of the... Like, Chevelle plays, and then Pete has a 4x12 cab on each side of the stage to run a stereo rig, because they're 3-piece. Those do have... those are mic'd, but, you get a good stage volume from them. But there's no more of this. Anytime you see that, they're not all loaded with speakers, and they're not plugged in. You don't need it. Because the PA does the heavy lifting. You mic one speaker and run it to the PA, and then they turn the PA up. Because you see all those line array speakers on the tops of the stage on each side, those big ones. That's what's doing the heavy lifting.
And that's the magic of what 40 or 50 years tinkering with this can do. That if your speakers are mounted higher up, that broadcasts better than having it at stage level. Else, like in the case of most of these, you're effectively playing to a hill.
Yes. The trio I'm playing in, we sound huge for a trio. It's because we know how to dial it in. Like, the bassist has a 4x10 cabinet, one 4x10, not a full 4x or 8x12 or 8x10 stack of speakers. You don't need that. Like, it's plenty fucking loud.
Meanwhile, you've seen my cheap stereo I have at home. That's that Bluetooth CD player. That was $60. It's only a 50 watt. So it's loud enough for in the house, but it's not going to shake the windows.
That one on 2, actually, if I crank it up to 3 with the alarm on, it will set the alarm off because it rattles the dishes downstairs. The glass break sensors, it'll rattle the glass.
Yeah, it's like mine goes from 1 to 30, or if I need to fine tune it, I could use the tablet's volume that I'm just beaming off Spotify or whatever. It's just like 30's not terribly loud, but if I'm working in the kitchen, it's loud enough to get in there.
Yep,
but it works well for that small space.
And tube amplifiers are different because a 50 watt amp and a 100 watt amp. The 100 watt is not twice as loud. It's only 6 dB louder than a 50 watt amp.
We're like 6 douchebags.
That one's an 85 watt, but I'm running it in 50 watt mode because I just like the way I can push it with a lower wattage. I can push it louder and get the speakers to move a little bit better. Live, I might run it in 85 at an outdoors just to really fucking push it, but it's so... At 30 watts, it's so fucking it's so loud. Like, I have the attenuator. The attenuator is in the effects loop. I know this is gibberish to you. So there's a master volume I have on 2. If I didn't have the attenuator on 2, it's too fucking loud to play in the room. So I have an attenuator that it acts as a better master volume. You can really dial in the loudness.
A sound rheostat?
Yes. Because that one goes from 0 to being off, 1 to being barely audible, and 2 being so loud your fucking eyes hurt. So it doesn't...
So you don't have to go to 11. You'd be deafer.
No, I cranked it to 5 with the cabinet in the other room, the 212, and the wall, I thought the windows were going to break in this room. It's just too much. So which NFL team stadium has the most expensive can of beer? All right, so the most expensive can, it's a 16-ounce can, was $14.67. The cheapest was $6.25. So what was the cheapest and what was the most expensive? And I'll give you a hint. New York and L.A. were not in this.
Okay. I'm going to say cheapest is Green Bay because breweries.
Okay.
And most expensive is San Diego because that's more expensive real estate.
Steve, you got both of them wrong.
What
city used to be the beacon of engineering?
Detroit.
Detroit's the cheapest is $6.25.
All right, so I was a state off.
They have a statue dedicated to a person in this city, and the person didn't even exist. He wasn't a real boxer.
Rocky Balboa in Philadelphia.
Yes, the Eagles. Eagles Stadium has the most expensive. Bill Burr had a rant about that. He's like, Joe Frazier's from here, but you can't have a statue of a black guy in your city, you bunch of fucking racists.
Wow.
He's like, the whole metro of your
So,
city.
Someday it's Adrian, and some days it's a drain.
So like, the whole premise of your city is built on a guy that doesn't even fucking exist. I'm surprised Philadelphia was the most expensive. Carolina was in the middle at about $10.
Well, we could go ask Brad and Jess, or you don't know Utter Jake and his buddy that are at the game today. The weather was calling for rain about now. Hopefully things are doing a little better for them. Mm-hmm. And in unrelated news, I've acquired another G-Shock.
Nice. Ooh.
That's
not red.
It's also not half analog. Ryan wasn't using this. Caitlin's brother sent me this, and have yourself a merry little Christmas Bob Ross sweater.
Fuck yes. That's amazing. I forgot to show you the picture.
So this one does tides on it, and it's partially solar powered, much like the previous Hockey Puck I sold Mac.
Yeah. That's cool.
And the light actually is worth the shit.
Not working.
You see, like, kind of a teal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see it now. Okay. It's just really, really bright.
Great radio. Yeah.
I forgot to show you the picture. We played at Pour 64 last night, and they set up the heads. They set up a Brian head with a Pour 64 shirt and with a beer in front facing the stage. I was like, damn it, that makes me kind of sad,
Aww.
actually. I miss my buddy. A bottle of Gautier cognac.
That's probably partly why I've been feeling really bummed out this last week.
Dude, me too, man. Like, because I would meet him for a beer every week, sometimes 3 times a week. Oh, well. Well, we got you already had a free place to stay at the beach. Now I have a free place to stay, but the beach is a little further away. But, you know...
I think it's a solid 10-hour drive, last I recall.
However...
last one to Orlando was 8.
It's a cheap flight from Allegiant, though, to Bradenton, Sarasota. So that's... And once they get settled, I'm going to go down there and scout out places to play and try to get, like, ones where I can play, like, a Thursday, Friday, Saturday sort of thing. Drive down.
Residency.
Drive down, you know, and then come home Sunday, and, you know...
This is when you need to get your own stick HRV as a long haul commuter mobile.
Dude, honestly, if I could find, if I had more time and money, it'd be cool to get one like Emily had. That generation, get all-wheel drive, and then K-swap it, and have like a K-swap 6-speed manual HRV.
Yeah, let's recall. I'm unaware of any HRV stick being oil drive. I think they were all fronts.
I know, but if we're talking,
yeah,
if I had the money,
hypothetical things.
Yeah, that would be boss. Actually, you know what'd be cool is have an Element, and my license plate would say "of surprise." But
how do you spell surprise? Since you're only allowed 8 characters in this dumb state, which is still one more than most.
OFSRP. RSC. There we go. I think Prelude H22 swap would be cool in the Element because it's a little torquier of an engine. So that'd be cool. But
technically, you're not supposed to put an older engine in a newer car, but no one's gonna know. Wink.
It's a better engine.
Although, how different is that from an RSS Type S that would have been concurrent with early Elements?
K. That's a K engine. So I wonder if it's the same because the K engine has a better aftermarket. People have K-swapped their S2000s when they blew up the F20 just because of availability and tunability. Mm-hmm. Bottle of Gautier cognac from 1762 sold at auction for $144,400.
Sounds like some money I used to know.
That's I have had cognac before, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Me too, but the magic of drinking at 17 in Germany is like cognac, brandy, they're related, right?
Close. Isn't it French, though? Cognac's French.
Yes.
You know, French liqueur in Germany, the land of beer.
Hey, man. During which my host family was of German origin, but had been in Romania until 1987.
Oh.
Both parents were chemical engineers. They're doing okay.
Oh, I think so. What is there any German liquor that's
While
is
there, and
Rumpelmintz German?
yes,
Okay.
and Kleiner Feigling was a fig liquor that was like a fig vodka that was painfully sweet. I had it there in '99 and briefly could find it when I turned 21 in Raleigh, but this is back late '02.
Right.
So I don't believe I've seen it since, and it was just sugar water. It was brutal. It was the quintessential like thing to drink at a teenager, but it wasn't great. It was more than novelty.
It's definitely the gateway.
The funnier thing was the 103 proof whiskey named Fighting Cock.
You see Fighting Cock now too.
Yeah.
So that is
Like,
that's German?
No, Fighting Cock isn't.
Okay.
But like just thinking back of what I was drinking 20 years ago.
What was your first thing you got like really, really drunk on? I remember what mine was. Banana Red MD 2020. Would not recommend that, by the way.
Someone's homemade peach moonshine. Summer 2000. Got real ill on that and cheap beer.
I am so glad you said that. I have a surprise for you.
Oh.
I'll be right back.
Does it give us the fog?
Which fog? The movie or?
No, like just in the jar.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was a fun time back in the day with my first valet job at the Greensboro Airport, and I was the youngest of the everybody there. So, of course, all my buddies were very happy to oblige my underage drinking, allegedly. Thanks, all you guys, wherever you are. What fun times back then. And when not drinking underage, had the opportunity to drive a German market first gen BMW M5, the brand new at the time V6 Eclipse third gen.
My dad still has his.
A 964 with the Tiptronic womp.
That is a.
Reminiscing on the airport valet job I had in the last months in high school.
Nice. Yep, my dad still has his 2000 Eclipse GT, which is probably in the best shape of any 2000 Eclipse GT.
The fact it exists.
Steve, what does that look like besides urine?
Mountain Dew.
You know what that is? It's banana moonshine. And you know what? It's really fucking good. And I'm kicking myself in the dick for not remembering that before we drank all this. But I got a little bit of bourbon left, so we'll hold off for a second.
Okay.
We'll take it easy with that, though. It's good.
If it's easy, take it twice at my first plate.
Damn, it was. And then it was thrice for the second one,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I was very creative back in 06.
Steve, you're still very creative now.
Sometimes.
Well, I didn't say motivated.
Yeah. Yeah, I had great plans to finally take the bike out this morning and didn't.
My dad, my brother, he's like, I want to be clear here. I'm not a loser. I'm a quitter.
Because I'm a quitter!
College football game between Nebraska and Northwestern that was held in Dublin, Ireland, handed out free beer to everyone because there was a malfunction with the payment machines. You know what? You know what could work in Ireland but not here? Free fucking beer at a football game.
Yep. This is why they're better than us.
And, fucking free authentic Guinness in Ireland at a football game sounds pretty fucking cool to me.
Do you know what camouflage beer trucks coming out of St. James do?
Yeah.
Milk trucks.
Love it. Chicken strips.
It was...
Never mind.
It was a bigger concern during the very downplayed Troubles era.
Yes. Harpoon has partnered with Dunkin' again to once again produce their cold brew
Coffee beer.
but they've added 3. Coffee roll, which is a cinnamon roll thing.
Let me see that coffee roll.
Butterfly, no, that's old. Hazelnut and pumpkin. And if they're half as good as the cold brew was that we've had on this podcast probably 2 years ago, it was really, really, really good. I haven't seen it in stores yet, though. By the way, my store has a lot of pumpkin and Oktoberfest beers because anytime a distributor says, hey, can I bring X in? I go, fall beer? Yes. You don't get stuck on fall beer. In the spring, you definitely get stuck on spring and summer beer.
Yeah, those are not good seasons to make special beer.
Nope. Like, nobody's going to go in.
If I want to drink grass clippings, I'll go drink grass clippings.
Nobody wants grass clipping session IPA at Christmas. But I will totally drink an Oktoberfest in July 4th.
Yes. It would have been heavy, but I was about this close to having Oktoberfest served at my wedding in early August last year.
I can't believe
that
was
would have been
year.
real warm. It was 90 and perfect weather, but toasty for everybody.
This whole time going by fast shit is...
Yeah. Tomorrow's my 4-year engagement anniversary.
Jeez. And y'all met when, like 6...
August, April, the other A month, April of 16.
8 years.
My first 6.5.
You said 14? 16.
16.
Oh, that is 6 years. I thought I heard 14. Please don't tell Chris Hansen I had 14 on my brain.
No, it was... And the first message I sent to her on Match.com was, Happy Easter. Not a concern? Super.
And you had her. Hook, line, and sinker.
Uh-huh.
Next, or on October 1st, we will have had Cairo for 5 years.
6 years too many. I mean, she's very sweet today.
Well, when we're
while
here.
y'all are here.
So we have a theory about why she's food and people aggressive. But she grew up in a house of chaos. And so now she got here and it's quiet and we fed her and took care of her and showed her attention she didn't get there. So she's real protective of us. So if we're here, everything's cool. If we're not here, she hissed and pawed at Brittany, and Brittany's plenty cat person.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's what it is. If I had if as long as we're here, she's going to be sweet too.
It's everything short of that cat having a cigarette and an eye patch.
Which would be a great tattoo. Woodford Reserve is releasing a special edition of aged in honey barrels whiskey.
Oh, my.
Count me in.
I keep thinking Woodford Reserve sounds like it would be a wine instead of a whiskey.
It does.
And I keep being wrong. And it keeps not mattering. They keep doing good stuff.
I swear, like, them and Elijah Craig, it's just, everything they put out is just really solid. It's just fucking solid.
I thought it was more liquid.
Wait a minute. Am I drinking my bourbon wrong? How cold do you have to get that shit to get it to freeze?
Yikes.
Absolute zero. We're measuring it in Kelvin.
That would be Swedish vodka. That could be a completely different thing.
Oh, so my brother...
That's at... Oh, dear. When I was at Petty Thieves Brewing,
yes,
they had something called a cold IPA, which is using cryo hops. It was disgusting.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like ass clown levels of weirdness.
It was just the most bitter thing since the original New Belgium Ranger.
Yikes.
Yeah. Like a cold IPA. No shit. It's on the tap. Oh. No gusta. No gusta.
Ass Clown has a pumpkin IPA out that's at Pour 64, and it's really good. Because usually it's like...
Really good or really bad out of them.
Yeah, and actually it's either really good or really weird and really bad. It's like, hey, you want to try this, like, Tobacco Chewer's Baby Vomit IPA? You're like, fuck no, why are you doing this?
No.
Stop doing weird shit like that. Y'all can make good beer. I know you can. It's
yeah,
the old
anything
unknown
that
effect.
makes it out of the brewery, it'll be okay.
Right.
If it's some odd thing served at the brewery, I'm a little scared of Ronald McDonald cackling in the distance.
Yeah. I got my fucking title wrong. Damn it.
I'm not gutterballing. You're gutterballing.
There we go. I got it. I try not to write neatly when I'm doing this. If I have to hand it in, I'll write neatly. But by the way,
yeah. That said, like if I try to write quickly, I can't read it.
James Garfield could write a sentence in 2 different languages with his hands at the same time. So he could write Steve, welcome to the podcast in Greek in this hand and English in this hand at the same fucking time.
You know, that's not just a different language; that's a different alphabet.
That's crazy. I don't know if that's a practice thing or
like to hell with any other president. We need more presidents named after cartoon cats. Where is my President Heathcliff?
Emily was shocked at the number of U.S. presidents I could name. Are you good at that game too?
Nope.
Okay. We won't play that game then. She's like, well, there's that many? Is that one a real one? I was like, yes, that's a real one.
Hey, technically I'm going to lose when I name 2 Clintons. Boom.
George Clinton. President George Clinton would be awesome. ZZ Top has released Tres Hombres, a special edition bourbon named after one of their albums, which is really a good album. Because I've given Greg Tres Hombres, or Greg gave me Tres Hombres. We've had a lot of albums given since...
Tu hermano es un albono giveno.
I'm going to open that, but haven't had that. And the next, Kings of Leon have collaborated with Woodford to produce their own whiskey called the Kiamichi whiskey.
Chimichanga.
Chimichangas are good. It's a fried burrito. It's basically what a chimichanga is. I wonder if that whiskey like has a touch of fire at the end. You know, like a
something sexual healing.
You know, I'm not a big Kings of Leon fan. I'll be honest.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah. The Mars Volta. Now we're into music. Actually, we it was the same
transition into the thing and
yes.
stuff.
The Mars Volta reunited to play their first live show in over a decade. How much Mars Volta or At the Drive-In have you listened to?
More Mars Volta than At the Drive-In, and I just know their earlier stuff's better, but I couldn't pinpoint anything because it's just Rush levels of nonsense.
It's Rush hardcore punk is what it is. It's just ridiculous, weird shit. Beato did a breakdown of an At the Drive-In song, and he played the solo guitars in, you know, just the guitar parts, and the guitars are out of tune. And he even says, like, they're out of tune. He goes, but you really don't notice that in the mix, and you really don't notice that in the mix. But they're really not in tune. But welcome to post-hardcore music, because that's kind of, we show up, we play, and damn it, that's what you're going to get. But I struggle to tell the difference in Mars Volta and At the Drive-In, because it's the same. It's the brother. It's the same 2 guys.
Okay, didn't know they're related.
I don't think I don't think they're brothers, but
third cousins,
like stepbrothers or something.
So much room for activities.
More for you, buddy. Oh, you gotta pay the water bill. I can keep people occupied. I can't wait for you to try this.
Tell them more stuff about what I have no idea what's going on.
All right. I'm good at that.
Which reminds me of a joke about At the Drive-In. I'll tell you after the break.
After the drive-in. I've been to a drive-in movie one time. So I went to... I didn't know how the sound worked, but evidently you turn to a radio station, AM radio station for you people who are my age, and you sit in your car and you watch the movie and listen to the sound in your radio at the risk of draining your battery. I digress. I only went to this drive-thru movie because there was a girl that I liked, and I wanted to get to know her better, per se. And then I show up, and, well, she's with another guy there. And so I watched the movie very sad and lonely by myself. Story of my high school. I would not go back to high school. Some people say they would go back to high school, but if I could go back, I'd probably know how better to handle things, but I go back for a week, but I wouldn't go back and relive my life at all. I kind of like being this age. Now I'm rambling because I'm drinking on an empty stomach again. I know better than this. But maybe I don't know better than this. At least we have water here mixing with all this bourbon and moonshine and low-grav beers that Steve brought. Yep, I'm sad my buddy's gone. Brian, we're going to come and see you soon once you get settled in. All my favorite people leave. But it is what it is. You know, you either get busy living or get busy dying, like they say in, what is it? What movie was that? That was Shawshank Redemption. Which is one of those movies. It's like you always watch it when it's coming on, and you never watch it from start to finish. You just... When it's on TV, you're like, oh, Shawshank Redemption's on. I don't care if it's halfway through. We're going to watch this movie. It's like the same way with Forrest Gump. I don't remember the last time I watched Forrest Gump from start to finish. But I'll be damned if we're not channel surfing at night and that movie's on. Damn it, you turned into that movie. We're talking about... We were talking about movies, me and the guy in my head.
It's called the Back to the Future trilogy, and I fell in that same trap the other day.
Yeah, movies you never tune into from start to finish, but like if it's on TV, it's like, oh, we're going to watch this. Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, fell into the Back to the Future 2 and 3 trap the other day. Again.
I've only seen the first one because you watched Pulp Fiction and I watched that. This pissed me off. Adam Levine claims that no hot chicks listen to metal. I'm sorry, what?
Hey, that's what you get for listening to Adam Levine.
He can sing.
Like,
I don't...
Thing is, this really turns me off to Maroon 5. Me quoting myself from 2002, having first listened to Maroon 5. I'll only be as funny as the memes I steal, and that one takes the cake. Because, hot damn, I hated that band from the get-go, so I couldn't give less of a shit that this guy's an overly tattooed Chipotle bag of douchebaggery.
Well, he didn't pick good. He like picked all the shittiest flash art on the wall and got tattooed. He didn't get good tattoos. He got shitty ones. By the way, that one healed really well.
You got to reach higher to high five the sun, bro.
That's not how the tarot cards work. I like 2 Maroon 5 songs, Harder to Breathe and This Love. Although it's not as good as This Love from Pantera.
Duh.
Tommy Lee now has an OnlyFans account.
Pass.
Hard pass, because you can just download that fucking movie with him and Pam Anderson. You still can. I mean, it's in 2P, and so a dick looks like a leg. but you can still download it. Who the fuck is paying for Tommy Lee's only? He's got to be in his 60s. All right, I'm on it. Are you on it?
Plausible.
All right, hey, Steve's on it. Who wants to see 60-year-old
Although
dick?
if Tommy Lee Jones did.
How about Tommy Lee and Tommy Lee Jones podcast would be?
We'll call it Keeping Up with A. Jones.
Motley Men in Black. No, Motley Country for Old Men. No Country for Motley Crue.
He's a week away from 60 and was born in Athens, Greece.
What? What? Oh, he's in that that far right Greek group called Parthenon. Greece? He kind of struck me as more of an Italian kind of guy.
It's all Mediterranean to me. Lee was born Thomas Lee Bass Orbais on October 3rd, 1962 in Athens, Greece, to father David Lee Thomas Bass, not Roth, an American U.S. Army sergeant.
David Lee Roth is Tommy Lee's dad.
And mother Vasiliki Vula. Oh, dear.
That's very Greek.
Papa Dimitru. Greek, I can't read that. A contestant in the 1957 Miss Greece Beauty Contest. He has a younger sister, Athena. If only she's also born in Athens. Oh my.
Toby's
who's also a
sister's name,
drummer. When Lee was approximately 2 years old, his father moved the family back to U.S., settling in California. This Wikipedia article is much wilder than I expected from the first 2 years.
Jesus. That's amazing.
Let's see. Tommy Lee Jones is 76 as of a few days ago, the 15th.
The Tommy podcast. Oh, what stories they would tell.
Can you hear me?
We are still on the news, and it's an hour and a half in. This is amazing. Mariah Carey is releasing her secret grunge album from 1995. I have low hopes for this. Steve, what about you?
They're in a hole.
Which hole?
Courtney Love's band, duh.
Courtney Love's hole? That sounds bad. God damn it. That sounds really bad.
All right, if it's not love, it's indifference, not hate, okay?
I wouldn't fuck Courtney Love with B. Arthur's dick.
Thanks, Jeff.
It's a great joke. Nine Inch Nails has reunited on stage to perform with their former bandmates Richard Patrick and other ones, and they performed Hey Man, Nice Shot with both on vocals. That sounds great.
Yeah, I follow Nine Inch Nails pages on FaceBase. Mm-hmm. People were going ape shit about the Cleveland show since that was his hometown.
Yes. What else is there to do in Cleveland besides go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and hurt yourself today?
Catch to Cuyahoga on fire again. It's been a while.
I would like to go to Cleveland just to go. I'd like to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And then you can argue with every band that's not in it.
Yes. That Dave Matthews is in there and Soundgarden's not. But I also kind of want to...
Screw that. Let's go to Luxor.
Yeah.
If I go to a Pyramid, let's go
Right.
to a fun one.
Fuck yes. Which I was thinking about going to, but I'm going for my birthday, so at this point it's already September and almost October. It's almost crunch time to my birthday again.
Mom, it's your birthday. What would you say? Woof.
You want to go to Vegas for my birthday?
Mayhaps.
It's on a Monday.
I mean, it's not like it's a day trip. Gosh.
That's an ambitious day trip. But definitely definitely going again for that.
I can see if I can make it a work trip. Like, yeah, there's an operation there. Hey, you need tech support, need a printer fixed.
Last but not least, Steve, this is hilarious. Frontman Tobias Forge of Ghost throws out the first pitch at the White Sox game, dressed as Papa Emeritus the
Nice.
Fourth. So he had the face making. He had the White Sox jersey on, but the White Sox colors are black and white.
It's perfect.
So it's perfect. That's amazing. That's all the news we got, Steve. That's a lot of news. I need to finish this bourbon so we can get to that banana moonshine. Do we need to do a music or do we need to do a car-related topic? I'm okay with any of them. Like, Keep, Crush, and Kill sounds great, but I haven't thought of any three.
Yeah, music thing.
Okay. Well, 112, there was an R&B group named 112. And they were really good, actually.
My immediate thought was D12, but that's different. It's like
There's some
Eminem is Eminem in D12.
There's some dark lyrics in D12. I'm responsible for killing John Candy. Got John Benet Ramsey in my 98 Camry. Is a actual lyric to one of those songs.
Said during one of my stranger trips across town to do work stuff, the car I was driving didn't have Bluetooth, and I had failed to bring along an aux cord because I have a bunch of them somewhere.
Right.
So flip on to 106.5, The End, the rock alternative.
Yeah.
They're playing Eminem.
Yep.
It was just funny at this point in time that the alternative rock station is playing rap from 20 years ago.
Emily listens to 106.5, and I'm like, this is not new rock. It's alternative. I'm like, no. Imagine Dragons is not alternative rock. It's electronica.
Imagine Dragons makes me envy Nick Long.
Yes. Yes.
He's deaf, you know.
Well, she didn't like my joke. I was like,
so
well, do you
bad.
like Imagine Dragon? She goes, I don't like it. I was like, well, imagine dragging these nuts across your
Did you see him in the pool?
something like that. Steve, have you ever had banana moonshine?
I'm gonna.
It doesn't smell good, but it tastes really good.
You're not wrong. What is this monkey business?
That's really good, isn't it? Yeah.
That's dangerous.
So the produce manager at our store named Beverly, which is funny because I've known her because I was a produce manager and we go to the same meeting, so I've known her for the better part of a decade. And I got a friend request from a Diana Willis, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "That's Beverly." I was like, "Did you send me a friend request?" She goes, "Yeah." I was like,
Why?
"What?" I was like, "No, well, no, not why." I was like,
The
"You
name.
don't go by Beverly?" She goes, "Everybody." I grew up being called Diane, but then when I got the job a long time ago, they used my first name as my name tag, and now everybody calls me Beverly. I'm like,
You could have gotten a different name tag.
well,
That said, like, my name tag, my email address, every correspondence at work is Steven.
really?
I worked so very little back in the 7th grade to drop that second syllable, damn it.
Yes.
Steven! I was like, what? Call me Steve, please.
Well, she said,
So it could be worse.
I showed her my bourbon collection. She goes, "We make moonshine." I was like, I'm interested. She said, "Which do you want?" She said, "Do you want banana? Do you want apple? Or do you want," what was it, peach? And I was like, well, I've had apple moonshine. I don't really love peach, the flavor, but banana works. She's like, "I got you." A week later, she's like, "Here you go." I'm like, okay. Smelled it. I was like, this smells horrible. And then I tasted it. I was like, oh. This yes.
but the taste is that middle bit we're all looking for.
I haven't mixed this with anything, but I gotta imagine a shot of Frangelico hazelnut in here, like a chocolatey banana.
Or a chocolatey beer could make quite the Boilermaker.
Yeah, I think it would be. This will be the last thing I drink on this podcast because I don't know what the proof is because it was probably made in her bathtub at this point. But they make it. They make a lot of it. But so what music do we want to do?
Not Maroon 5 and not Imaginary Dragons. I did have a really good joke about them when they came to town a decade ago.
Okay.
If you imagine dragons, are they European or Asian?
What about an African? What is their velocity?
Since at the time I was dating an Imagine Dragons fan without realizing how much I'm going to really hate that band.
How much is it the same person we all hate?
No, this is
this is different.
this is a year before.
Well, you know what?
You never met that one.
Let's go through the albums we've done. In the last month, I gave Greg Slipknot's Iowa.
Wow.
He didn't hate it. He's like, you know what? I can understand the vocals, so I don't hate it. I was like, well, that's a good thing with Slipknot because you can understand what he's saying.
It's violent as hell.
Well, that and Mudvayne, like I like aggressive vocals, but I do want to know what they're saying. He gave me Judas Priest, Defenders of the Faith.
That's really funny because I was listening to Judas Priest on the way here.
I gave him Muse, Black Holes and Revelations, and he gave me Foreigner's self-titled album. I really liked Foreigners. I actually liked Judas Priest, but I liked British Steel better. The music spoke to me. I thought it was a little groovier, a little better to me. He liked Muse. He's like I called Muse the modern day Rush. And I know you haven't listened to much of them, but they really are just, for a 3-piece, they're really, it's a big sound. They change up their sound. Then I gave him The Color and the Shape from Foo Fighters. He gave me Blue Oyster Cult, Agents of Fortune, which was the best album cover I've seen in a long time. Which, weird, Don't Fear the Reaper's on that album. It doesn't fit with any other song on that album. Have you listened to the album?
No.
Everything is so much different than Don't Fear the Reaper. Even the vocals. It was a different vocalist.
Burning for You, Godzilla.
Burning for You wasn't on that one.
I was just thinking of the songs from them. Like, Burning for You, Don't Fear the Reaper, Godzilla are about the only songs I can think of on the top of my head from them. And they're all 3 very different songs. Godzilla, Zilla.
I gave him Perfect Circle, 13th Step. He really, really liked that.
Nice.
Which I'm more of a Perfect Circle fan than I am Tool. But I know they
It's
say
more
a perfect circle is Tool for girls. Yeah. But he gave me Rolling Stones' Tattoo You. And I actually liked it. I thought it was a good... I'm more of a Stones fan than a Beatles fan. What about you? I'd rather listen to the Stones.
I'm more Beatles than Stones.
Gotcha.
Like the Beatles had the good sense to call it quits by 1970.
Well, one of them died. Well, never mind. That was in 80. But John
Yeah,
Lennon
it was they folded by 1970, but the Stones suffered through the late 70s.
Yeah,
They had capacity to stink way harder.
true. And then I gave him a band I don't know if you know, Dark New Day. I gave him Dark New Day, 12 Years Silence.
Is that an Alice in Chains ripoff?
No, it's it was a super group made from members of Seven Dust, Double Drive, and then another band. And they had one album, and that was it, I think. They might have had another one, but it didn't critically. I love it. To me, it's like a mixture of... To me, it's musically like a Breaking Benjamin album with Alice in Chains vocals. So it's like a post-grunge album, and then he gave me Dio, The Last in Line.
Nice.
Yeah. This week was interesting. He gave me April Wine, Power Play. It's a Canadian hair metal band.
Never heard of that one.
It wasn't bad. It was a little all over the place.
Perfect.
But it wasn't bad. And I gave him a Definitely Maybe.
From Oasis.
And...
because that's one of my favorite phrases ever.
And I told him that I love What's the Story, Morning Glory, but after really giving a good listen to Definitely Maybe, I like it just as much.
They play off each other very well.
They do. I actually learned Live Forever to play live.
Nice.
And I love that song. And I also love Slide Away. Do you remember that one? It was track 10 on Definitely Maybe.
It's been a long time since I binged both of those in a hurry.
That one's... Slide Away is really... I don't think anybody would know it, but it's really good. I just really, really like it.
It does have its own Wikipedia page.
Oh, Definitely Maybe?
And a promotional single cover. Slide
Slide
Away.
Away.
Released 29 August 1994.
It's funny because they did 2 groundbreaking albums back to back in 2 different years, like 94 and 95. Like it's a shame that Liam is such a fucking asshole. Like, no, do you remember they did an MTV Unplugged? They did an Unplugged.
I didn't see that one.
They did an Unplugged, and Liam had a sore throat that night. And he just spent the entire night sitting in the balcony heckling the whole band while they were playing.
Security.
Noel actually sang all the songs that night. And I like Noel's voice better. He did Don't Look Back in Anger.
I unsubscribed from the NME FaceBase page because it became nothing but news about Oasis and the Gallagher brothers dueling.
Yep.
Still, you pathetic twat nazzles.
Yep.
Stop it.
Cheers. I like Noel's voice better. It's a little less... I like that. Like, my voice can get kind of nasal. Well, when asked about what my voice sounds like, I say it's a mix of Jerry Cantrell and Scott Weiland. That's what I describe myself as. I don't have a super high register, but like I thought Noel's voice was prettier.
Back in the karaoke days, I could do the Darknesses, I Believe in a Thing Called Love.
Yes.
About once a season.
I can do.
So imagine me doing those high notes.
That would be
Take
great.
all the time you need.
I don't need any time. It's not the super high stuff I have a problem with. It's that mid to high, like the how would I know could this be my fate part from Phil on Black Days. That's I can do like head voice, really high falsetto stuff, but that's the stuff I struggle with even today. So let's see, music. We got a little bit of time to go. What time you got to start cooking?
It's going to be cutting up a rotisserie chicken. It'll be fine. It's like the second half of the chicken we picked up a week ago, so it needs to be consumed.
Fair.
So, yeah, cooking, it's like you're saying microwaving awful funny. It's not a matter of last night with the steaks or last weekend was some amazement with a prime rib and pork belly.
Ooh,
yeah,
prime belly.
That's what today's lunch became, was the leftovers of those as lettuce wraps. So that's health food, damn it.
Yes, of course it is.
Which is funny, I'm eating nothing but Caesar salad all week.
Have you made did I tell you about the recipe of just you guys have crock pot, right?
Yeah.
Crock pot.
Slow cooker.
Boneless, skinless chicken breast, a bottle of Caesar dressing, salt, pepper, let it slow cook all day, and then shred it up. And it's kind of like chicken salad, except it's Caesar base instead of mayo base.
Nice.
Put it on sliders.
Which we like better
with
anyway.
Parmesan cheese, and have chicken Caesar salad sliders.
Nice.
We did that one night, and it was... I don't know why I haven't done that more often, because I haven't bought the ingredients.
I think you know a place.
I love that little dummy downstairs, but she's not a really good cook. She's not a bad cook. She just has no confidence.
Unwilling.
She has no confidence in her cook. Every time she makes something, she's like, I should have done this. I should have... I'm like, look, I'd tell you if I'm not going to eat it.
Let's do this again, and then you can try whatever you thought you wanted to do this time. We'll eat this. We'll learn from the experience. It's going to be amazing. If we can make it amazinger. Mm-hmm. Cameron's been incredibly supportive with everything I want to do, so long as it's not seafood, because she doesn't like seafood.
Hey, just let them do a girls' day, and then we'll just do a seafood cooking day. By the way, aluminum foil, tilapia, salmon, flounder, whatever, lemon slices, salt and pepper, wrap it in aluminum foil, grill. It's amazing.
I had to
Lemon pepper.
change the propane tank last night. Like, fire up the grill, and it starts, it runs, it sputters out in half a minute.
I haven't grilled in, Jesus, since March or April.
You need to use a real unit of time.
It's been a while. It's Fortnite. It's been a Raleigh brewery.
I don't see what blah blah video game has to do with any of this.
I've never played it.
Me neither. But it was real funny, like back in the valet days, March of 19 maybe, that there was some team that had stayed up all night playing Fortnite, and I hadn't heard of it. You ever heard of Fortnite? Oh no! I was like, well, everybody at the valet company's usually younger than me. It's like, nope.
Yep.
Don't know and don't give a shit about sports, so it's kind of a double whammy of sports guys playing a game I never heard of.
Right. I've never seen a guitar with a double whammy. Just a single whammy. The blue one has tremolo. That one's a stop tail. That one has I have a whammy bar for that one, so I can do the wow 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 wow.
Right.
But the green one's stop tail that doesn't have a whammy. Tremolo system. You don't see the difference in the bridge?
See, that's good.
Stop tail, tremolo. The whammy bar goes in there, and that thing bends up and down. That one does not move. It'd be like you explaining computer parts to me. It'd be like, cool.
That said, Ryan, my brother-in-law, offered me a 2003 era computer. Thanks, but no. I already got 2 desktops seeing little use, and they're 6 years old. One that's 20 years old is going to be a little more dust collection than I'm prepared for.
Yeah. This one still works, and very happily.
Is the Wi-Fi still shit on it? After
No. Wi-Fi's great after.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just that
whatever we did.
weird pickup.
Yeah.
Well, we're closing in on 2 hours, Esteban. You ready to call it?
Sure.
We didn't pick a good
Music thing. Like,
we didn't pick it, but we went 2 hours because we had a lot of news.
Yep. It was a good run.
Just call us Huey Lewis.
Basically retired.
Which is interesting because a lot of musicians in their geriatric years keep going because they're like, well, I don't know how to do anything else. So
I think it's like a hearing issue.
That'll do it. There's a big if you can't hear yourself, like even muscle memory, if you cannot hear what your sound you're making, it's really difficult to sing.
Yeah.
So with our new PA and everything, it's much easier to hear. So
And then earplugs so you don't deafen yourself any worse than you already are.
well, I'm thinking about getting a wireless system for shows, so no more cables from guitar to pedal board, so I can walk around and freak people out by still playing. I mean, for sub $200, there's actually some really good systems now.
Nice.
And it runs off Wi-Fi signal. So you can run like 5G signal.
Hope it works. No, 5G would be over cellular data, and that's going to cost you more. Like, yeah, sorry, the SIM card on my guitar expired, so I can't play tonight.
Oh, it connects from the system. There's no like there's no cost or anything.
Yeah,
it just
so like
connects automatically.
Yeah, Wi-Fi is the wireless internet, but it's like 5G is like, no, that's powering cell phones and connected devices of that ilk.
Yes. So you're out of town next week.
Yep.
I got a show next weekend anyways, or Sunday. Sundays have been really weird, so
Out of nowhere, you've kind of got triple booked weekends at a lot. And like 2 weeks ago, I was in no shape to do that after Oktoberfest. That was pretty subdued. It's like, hey, it's the first time we've done this in 3 years, and Hagen's in town. It's like, this is less entertaining than the Decatur Beer Fest because we can't walk from his house to the thing. And so it's like, we've got to take it a little easier if we wish to drive home afterwards.
Stephen Wright said, everywhere's walking distance if you have the time.
Yeah. I'm still walking back from South Park now.
Well, Sundays have been kind of busy, but next week's fucked for both of us, so
Yep.
Maybe in 2 weeks.
See you in November.
It seems like it, doesn't it? All righty. Well, signing off, and he's Steve.
He's still AJ.
And we're both still sexy, right?
If you think so.
To at least 2 people.
Also, yes.
All right, and bye.
Scene.